Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. You know, there is one element of the gun community that I've been a feuding and a fussing with. Well, not just one element, but one element in particular that I've been a feuding and a fussing with for a long time. And that is the Tacti-Tards that just love appendix carry. You know, the people that go, oh, appendix carry is where it's at. It's the best way to carry. It's the most tactical way to carry. It's got all these advantages, and it's just as safe as any other method as long as you take precautions or you train those people. Because here's the reality about appendix carry. It is not a very safe way to carry. It is not the best way to carry, definitely. It is a way to carry that you shouldn't do unless you have absolutely no other option. And in this video, I'm going to challenge some of the notions people have that are false about appendix carry, about how it's safe, or it's just as safe as any other carry method. And I want to educate them a little bit here. I want to give them some information they can use when making a decision if they want to appendix carry, or that they can actually use if they want to come in and talk to me about appendix carry. Because like I said, I challenge anyone out there that supports appendix carry, come tell me why you support it. Why do you think it's a good way to carry, and why do you think it's best for you? I think you'll find out real quick, well, maybe you'll convince us, but I think you'll find out real quick that unless you have very specific circumstances, you're not making a decision based on safety or tactics. You're making a decision based on an ideal, how you want to appear. Because that's the thing about appendix carry. It's more of an ideal. That's what it is. It's people selling an image. Because a lot of people might think, well, appendix carry's always been around. No, it really hasn't. When I was younger, if you'd carried like that, you'd have gotten laughed out of a gun shop, thrown off a gun range for unsafe behavior. It has not been around forever. Not even close. It only became popular recently when a bunch of small-dicked, testosterone-lacking, steroid junkies who decided, hey, I got a bunch of tattoos and really tight t-shirts and I'm not good at anything else, I'll become an instructor, a firearms instructor. And they started selling people on the idea of, hey, look at this stupid idea I came up with. Since I'm doing it and I'm a badass, that means it's badass. And if you want to be a badass, you'll do it too. And the fact that you can do it safely if you're super trained by someone as badass as me shows that you're a super trained badass if you're carrying that way. That's kind of the whole thinking behind appendix carry. They took something out of history, a type of carry, without any context, and then made a mockery out of it with appendix carry. And then tried to sell it to you as some sort of revolutionary idea that has all these tactical advantages. It's got all these tactical advantages and it's just as safe as any other method of carry, which is bullshit. Right off the bat, you're breaking some of the major rules of gun safety with appendix carry. And it's just not safe. When you carry appendix, you're pointing your gun at your dick and your balls. You risk giving yourself a really quick sex change operation. And if you don't have a dick and a balls, whether if you're a female or if you're one of these guys, like I said, it took so many steroids their dick and balls withered up and fell off, you're still pointing it at your femoral artery, so it's not a good idea. Now, the proponents of appendix carry will be like, oh, but it's got all these advantages and it's just as safe as any other carry method if you do it right. No, it isn't. Well, they're like, well, every other carry method you use points the gun at you somewhere, so you're risking shooting yourself, so this is really no different. I've heard that argument from day one 1,000 times, and it is just so false. In fact, let's look at that idea real quick. Are other carry methods just as dangerous? Are you pointing the gun at yourself? Let's look if you've got the gun on your hip at, let's say, 330, maybe like a 10% cant. That's probably the most common outside waistband carry method. And remember, outside waistband is always safer than inside waistband. But even if it's inside waistband, you're safer than pointing it at your appendix or pointing it at your femoral artery if you've got it on your hip at 330. You just might graze your ass a little bit. But let's look at it outside waistband. I'll even push it in like it's inside waistband. Because when you're carrying inside waistband, it really shouldn't be much closer to your body than you're carrying outside waistband. Your pants should be bigger. So let's look at, like I said, the 330 position. Doesn't look like I'm flagging myself at all here, even if I move around. Now, if I tried to do some gymnastics, like a backflip or something, I might shoot myself in the calf or the heel. But I ain't going to bleed out in 5 seconds if I shoot myself in the calf or the heel like I would if I shot myself in my femoral artery. So nowhere near as dangerous as appendix carry. Now let's look at cross draw. Heck, cross draw looks even safer. It'd be real hard to even get myself to shoot myself unless I was somehow waving my arm in front of it as I pulled the trigger, as I was trying to unholster the gun. So looks like this is very safe too. It might not be as safe for the guy standing next to you if you're drawing, but if you're drawing your gun in public around people, I'm hoping they're already in danger, so you're not really adding much to their danger. In fact, you're a minor factor. And well, hoping is probably not the right word. Let's just say I'm assuming they're in danger. You don't want to hope they're in danger. But if you're drawing your gun in public, even if you're a minor risk to someone around you, like I said, you're the minor risk at that point, I hope, because I hope you're not just drawing your gun willy-nilly. So that's not really a big factor, but cross draw, you're pretty safe. Now let's look at horizontal carry with a shoulder rig. Now, the people in danger here, when you put your hand on your gun to draw it, are the people behind you more than anybody else. But like I said, once again, they're probably already in danger, and hopefully they're running away. So you're a minor danger to them compared to the danger that you're confronting. Now, there is one danger to you with horizontal carry in a holster like this with a shoulder rig, and that is when you're drawing the gun, you've got your hand on it, you're probably going to flag your inner arm. Not a good idea, not a good thing to do, but you know, it's there. That risk is there. You take that into consideration when you choose to carry horizontally in a shoulder rig. Now, if you carry vertically, well, once again, you're not at any risk to yourself very much at all of hitting anything vital. You might catch yourself in the thigh or something. But when you're drawing, you're probably going to be tilting the gun away from your body more than you are towards it, unlike with appendix carry. So probably not even going to happen there. And it's a little easier to avoid drawing across the inside of your arm. So not as safe, I think, as cross draw, but still pretty safe. I still think 330 at 10% cant is one of the safest. Cross draw is probably the safest, but you know, that one's the most common and it's a very safe way to carry. Now let's keep all that in mind. Let's look at appendix carry. Put the gun on myself, hold it as flat to my body as I can, like I've got no stomach whatsoever. I'm thin as a rail. Still, look what I move around at all. Constantly flagging vital parts of my body that could kill me within seconds if I had an accident while drawing under duress, you know, while you're stressed out, tensions are high. You know, that's why it's dangerous. Because you are never touching that gun for the first time without it being pointed at something dangerous. Even if you're doing a fucking backflip as you're doing it, still pointed at your groin and the inside of your leg, which is a very dangerous place to be shot. You don't want to shoot yourself there. Trust me. So it is not safe. It's dangerous. And it is definitely more dangerous than all those other carry methods we showed. Doesn't matter what you want to say. It's dangerous and it should only be done as a last resort. Because there are some circumstances that might require it, I guess. Not many. And I've yet to find any that really do require it. So maybe you'll be the first person, if you come in and try to educate me on this, or edumacate me as I like to say, maybe you'll be the first person to show me there's a circumstance where it makes sense. But it really doesn't make sense. Like I said, all these tactical advantages, they don't make any sense. If you take it into the account, the chance of it actually hurting you compared to the chance of 1/10 of a second being taken off your draw time helping you, you're far more in danger by putting it pointed at your balls. Just doesn't make sense to anyone who thinks. You've been sold a bill of goods by these instructors because it is not a safe way to carry. There are other ways to carry. Now, some people will be like, well, it's the only way I can actually conceal. Well, that makes sense if you're a little gun, but you can also put a little gun in your back pocket or something and not be at risk of killing yourself. And here's the thing. I like these guys who are like, it's the only way I can conceal my 15-round 45 ACP giant polymer pistol while I'm at work in my private office as a CPA. You know, arguments like that. Do math, buddy. Consider the risks. How likely are you to be attacked in your office as a CPA that you're going to need a big 15-round 45 ACP gun compared to how likely you are to bend over and it slide out and get caught on your shirt or something and kill you? So we see videos on the internet all the time of that. Every time you see a video online of someone who kills themselves with their handgun while carrying or read a story about it, it's almost always they were carrying in their waistband appendix. And that's why they died. One guy recently shot himself in the femoral artery while putting his kid in the car, and he bled out there on the street within seconds before people even knew anything was wrong. People hadn't even figured out what that bang was yet. He was dead. So it is a dangerous form of carry. It shouldn't be done unless you absolutely have to. Now, here's the real thing. You can mitigate the risks, of course. Some people will make those arguments, and this is more education here. You can mitigate the risk. Single action revolver, like the Vaqueros did. A lot safer. But then, even then, you might cock that hammer and pull that trigger as you're drawing out of, muscle memory. So still not the safest way, as if it was on your hip, it'd be much safer. So even if you carry like a double action, single action gun with a manual safety, it's still safer on your hip because if something does go wrong, it's not pointed anywhere dangerous. So you're never going to make appendix carry as safe as other types of carry. Now, does that mean you can't do it? No, do it all you want. I've told people that all the time. If you come up to me and I say, why are you appendix carry? And you're like, because it looks cool. And I put looking cool over being safe or sound. And I'm fine with that. That's your choice. You like it. It looks cool. I get it. You're not risking anybody's life but your own. So I don't care about that. It's when, like I said, people who do it or instructors specifically want to sell people on this idea that it's just as safe as any other carry method, when it is not. They're like, oh, it's just as safe as any other carry method as long as you train. In other words, pay me to make you safe. That's bullshit. It's always safer somewhere else, and unless you have circumstances that make you have to have it there, you shouldn't have it there. It violates the rules. It's a bad idea. You've been sold a bill of goods by a bunch of testosterone monkeys who want to make money off of you wanting to look cool. They're selling you the whole I'm a badass, if you do what I do, you're a badass, like I said before thing. So don't fall for it. But like I said, if you do appendix carry, come into my live chat. We do live chats every night at 6 p.m. except Monday and Wednesday when they're at 5 p.m. And come on in, let me know that you appendix carry and why you do. You might think you have good reasons why it's your only option and why it's as safe as any other carry method. You might even convince me, you might convince my audience, but I think you'll probably walk out thinking, I only do this because I think it's cool. And there's other ways I could do it which would be safer, where my overall safety rating would be higher throughout the day. I may not have as big a gun, but still overall more safe. So come on in, let me know if you appendix carry, why you appendix carry. But like I said, keep in mind those things I taught you today. Don't try to use that as part of your argument. Don't come at me with that bullshit as if it's just as safe as any other method, because it isn't. Period. End of story.